Cambridge International GCSE and A-level curriculum. His name is Mr. Emmanuel Afful. It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Afful. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Kojo. And I think I relish this particular moment. I mean, Kojo, I cannot wait for all of us to come together and put our shoulders to the wheel, because it's stark. It's stark.
So we'll get into the details shortly, Emmanuel. Also joining us, I believe, on the phone is Mr. Peter Atta Gyamfi. Mr. Atta Gyamfi is the Secretary of CHAS for the Eastern Region. And you'll recall that the Eastern Regional CHAS has written to the Ghana Education Service, telling them of the situation and what they will be forced to do by tomorrow if the problem is not solved. Mr. Atta Gyamfi joins us via phone. Thank you for your time. Good morning, sir. Oh, we're yet to have Mr. Atta Gyamfi join us, but he will join us. So, first things first, let's find out what the situation is. We want to do a quick whip around the country and find out what's going on with the various regions, whether they are receiving food. Now, Rafiq Salam, who is based in Wa, has put together this report for us. He went around yesterday to find out what the situation is. Check this out.
The alarm bells at the Wa Senior High Technical School, fixed on the rooftop of one of the classes, sounded for about 30 seconds and followed with announcement for supper.
It's time for supper.
The students responded and went into the dining hall in droves, already aware of the imminent food shortage at the school.
Since the food have been shortage, we have been suffering from our school. Even our study is not going normal. As there is in the normal breakfast, when we go to take breakfast, there is not even a little drop of sugar. There is not any sugar for we normally take it all out, which is affecting us.
Some of us like this, when we are coming, we are not able to get money to buy gari, sugar, and milk and those things. So as we are in school right now, studies is really difficult for us. Sometimes we'll go to the class, we want to study because of the hunger. We cannot study. We just learn small and we'll start to sleep.
Because when you don't have something in your stomach, definitely you can't learn. Looking at it too, if you don't have anything in your stomach and outside there is also hard, definitely our parents cannot get us what we need in order to study. That is the food aspect. So looking at it, in fact, we are really dying. Most of our students are not even yet reported because of the shortage of food.
The students say the menu has not been altered due to the imminent food shortage. Authorities at the school only cook for them the food that is available at their store.
For the past 2 months, we have been taking TZ as supper. Every evening we are taking TZ. Now when you look at it, just today.
What were you taking?
We're taking, normally we used to take Banku, we used to take TZ, but nowadays it's only TZ.
Okay, for the supper, as we expect to eat TZ today evening, but the afternoon time, our headmaster, he announced to us that when we go to the food shop, that there is not any corn for us to take TZ again, that we will eat. It's only rice, and the rice we eat the rice until we get berries.
The shortage, according to the students, also led to the quantity and quality of the food being reduced.
We will go to dining hall and we will get ladle, one laddles. Every student per 1 ladle, and it has been a problem that is facing us.
Even coming to the dining hall, the lunch, the supper, when you go, the quantity of food that we're supposed to serve in each bowl is now decreased, and when you eat, it will not get to any time, and you feel hungry again, who will not help us in our studies academic to improve our work.
They appeal to the government to quickly come to their aid to prevent the imminent closure of the schools.
Our president, Nana Akufo-Addo, we need your help. We need you to pay the teachers so that they'll be able to come back, and our food too. We need you to get it for us, because when the Form 1s came, you didn't give the Form 1s their food. They came and used our food. So right now we are shortage of food. So we need you to try your best and do everything for us.
So we are appealing for the government that even if there is not going to be any food, but he should let our juniors go home so that we, the Form 3s, will be able to get enough food and study hard to pass. If not, in fact, it's not going to help us at all.
we try to speak to authorities here at the school. They would not like to speak to us on camera for fear of victimization. But the information that we have gleaned on indicates that they had calls from the regional buffer stock telling them that they want to treat the apple situation as an emergency, and so they are going to deal with it locally here. And so they have asked people to go to the market and also do a market survey, and after which they will report to them.
The situation at the West Senior High School is also not different. A drive around the school showed majority of the students have since not reported back to school from the Eid celebration. The blunt truth, however, is that majority of them are staying away as a result of the food shortage and wouldn't want to come only for the school to be closed down in the next few days.
Reporting for the news, Rafik Salam. Wah.
Right, from Wa to Cape Coast, which really is the citadel of education here in Ghana, where you'll find most of the what you would call well-endowed schools. Our very own Richard Kojo-Nyako has been attempting to find out what's going on the campuses of these schools that you would consider to be in a more advantageous position in terms of resources. Kojo-Nyako, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
All right, so what's the situation in the Cape Coast schools?
Well, so the situation is just like what Rafik Salam and other colleagues have reported. The quality of the food has reduced drastically. The quantity has reduced drastically. In some cases, students would have to be asked to bring their own sugar because there is no sugar there. What some of the heads have done is that they go to their sister schools. If they don't have sugar, they go there and then ask them whether they have some, and then they borrow. And then when theirs come, then they give it to them. Now it's also gotten to the parents, and so during the parent association, some of these big schools, they had to agree that they need to pay some amount of money to start up the feeding grants of the students. So I've been interacting with some of the parents of Wesley girls, even though it is not compulsory. They agreed on an amount of 500 Ghana to be paid. And according to the parents I spoke with, when they paid the money, the quality and the quantity of the food increased. In the less endowed schools like the grade B and the grade C schools, what's happening is that the students have been breaking, some of them have been breaking into the top boxes of their colleagues because the quantity of the food that is served them leaves much to be desired. And so the authorities have told me that they receive reports on a daily basis of theft, not for money, but for food items. They break to get shito, to get rice and all of that. Also, the parents have also told me that they've had to increase the provisions they send to their kids because now a lot of them have resorted to eating from their chop boxes, which used not really to be the case. Now, another developing story or a development that has been with us for a very long time is that the schools are also undersupplied. So a head would have to go for food, sign for about 20 bags of maize, and then will be given 15 bags of maize. The head said that they have complained incessantly about you refuse to get that kind of arrangement or stick with that kind of arrangement. Then your children or your students would have to go hungry. It is not only the understatement of these amount of the quantity of food they give them, but also underweight. So if they are supposed to give a school, let's say like 80 kg of maize or rice, then they give them 50 kg of that particular commodity. And they say that singular thing has accounted or is accounted for the low quality and the quantity because now they need to also ensure that the students are fed. And so that has been the situation with us in the central region.
So tell me, I mean, clearly this is starting a crime wave in some of the less endowed schools. What are the teachers and heads saying about this?
Well, so they will go on record. So you need to establish some trust and they need to have some confidence in you that you will not mention their name or even the names of the school. Otherwise, they would be victimized. And so they are lip tight, they're giving some strong instructions and warnings not to speak with the media and the general public. So have the teachers also been told the same thing? And so if you go there, even though they are suffering inside, if any of them attempt to complain about it, then that teacher would, or that head teacher would either be victimized or something would be done to the teacher. And so that's what they have been telling me. They will never agree to go on record. But all of the things that they have said, it runs through all the heads that I have spoken. I've spoken with about 11 of such headmasters of senior high schools in the central region, and they seem to be telling me the same thing. So, for instance, at the grade A schools, the endowed schools, they have a strong PA base. Now, it is not the Parent Teachers Association, it is the Parents Association, and so the teachers have stayed off. So it is an agreement by the parents that, things are not going on well, because a lot of them also indicated that their children were growing leaner and leaner. So they had to do something to support the school. It is not compulsory, and it is not the school that has asked them to do that, but they looked at the grievances of the situation, and then they decided from their own volition to act and to support the schools.
Right. Now, I just want to touch on what you told us earlier about these, misreporting of amounts and weights. So what you're saying, help us understand, that the schools, the teachers are reporting to you in confidence that those who are supposed to supply them with food, and, we're talking rice and maize and all of that, are seeking to agree with them to misreport the amounts. So they're supposed to give you 150 bags of rice. They will give you only 100 bags, and then they want you to sign a document saying you received 150?
That's what has been going on. It's not only in the central region. My checks with other parts of the country indicate that has been the arrangement. I do not know the reason why this is happening, or this development is going on, but that is what has been happening. And so the heads say that it affected the quantity and then the quality of the food that is served. But failure to agree on that arrangement means that your students will go hungry, and you may not want to also be singled out. A head that is left with like 4 years, 3 years to go on pension would want to cooperate in order not to be victimized, so that the pension activities will be disrupted. And so that has been the arrangement. We need to ask the authorities, the suppliers, the buffer stock, why this is happening in our schools.
But could you have these headmasters complained to the buffer stock, and did they tell you what the response was?
So a head, for instance, told me that he rejected it. He rejected because he signed for 20 bags of maize and then was supplied with 14 bags of maize, and so he rejected it. His rejection of that amount indicated that the students were going to go hungry. So the car moved and then moved out of the school premises. Later on, he had to chase them to get that amount. So he eventually had to succumb to the 14 bags of maize that he rejected earlier. And so that has been the situation. You do it at your own risk.
Kojo, thank you. Thank you for that rather shocking update from Cape Coast. So essentially now this shortage is resulting not only in crime among the students, but it is forcing some headmasters to condone crime with those who are supposed to be supplying the maize. So these are the people who are starving our kids, and the heads are forced to condone their criminal activity just so they can get a little something to give to the children to eat. Wow. Let's go to the north. Martina Bugri is our correspondent in the northern region. She's in Tamale right now. Martina, it's good to speak to you. Give us an update on the situation with the food supplies for the secondary schools in Tamale.
Having spoken to a couple of the headmasters, what I get is that they haven't received their food yet. Just a few spoke. Most of them declined to speak, and partly because anytime they speak, you have issues with the Ghana Education Service, and so most of them declined to speak. Two spoke to me. One said he's received something, but will not go further. The other also said they received a bit of some provisions last week, but they will not go further. I must say that, like I shared, the food I shared with you last night, this is a plate of rice for 2 people. And he says, Madam, this is even because some people didn't come, so we had excess. So you can imagine that plate of rice for a student who is still growing up and needs all the energy to grow as well as study. The most worrying part is that the students have also been warned not to speak to the media. If you speak to the media and you are caught, you will be sacked. That's the situation we have in the northern region. But I spoke to the regional director of education, and he says that the issue of food has not come to his attention yet. They met on Sunday. They had a lengthy discussion, but Charles did not raise that issue. He says that once it's come up, they would deal with it. But he says that they are making some arrangements with local distributors to support with the distribution of food in the region.
Martina, clarify that. You're saying that you spoke to the director who says Chas has not raised any issues of shortage with him?
Yes, and he says that they had a meeting on Sunday, and that didn't come up as an issue that is bothering headmasters in the region.
That's interesting. Now, Martina referred to a picture she shared with me last night. Now, we're going to edit that picture so that we don't reveal the identities of the students involved, and we will post it once we've edited it. This picture shows a bowl or a couple of bowls of rice. It's basically rice with some yellowish substance mixed into it. It's hard to determine whether there is enough there to call it oil, but there is something mixed in with the rice, making it kind of orangish, yellowish. And this is what has been served to the kids. And they showed us a bowl, a green bowl. I want you to pay attention to the green bowl. What is in there is meant for 2 students to eat. 2 students to share. Okay? Now, they are telling us that amount is even more than they normally get because yesterday there weren't so many students in the dining hall. So there was a bit of excess. That is what resulted in what you will see in the green bowl, which we'll be sharing shortly on our social media pages. Goodness. Okay, let's go to the Upper East region. Now, you will recall that we have spoken to the public relations officer who said that there was some food on its way to the Upper East region. Trucks were supposed to have set off on Sunday. As of Tuesday, the trucks still hadn't arrived. It's not clear whether these trucks were traveling through the Ivory Coast to get to the Upper East region. But for some reason, as of Tuesday, they were not there. Let's find out what the latest is. Our very own Albert Sore is our correspondent there. Albert, it's good to speak to you. Has the food arrived?
Yes, Kojo. So what we know is that yesterday afternoon, some of who started receiving food. It was mainly grains, so bags of rice, maize, and then millet. I spoke with a source with the conference of the senior high school, and he confirmed that they had actually begun to receive the item. The schools have been able to confirm had received where the Sirigu is integrated senior high school, and then the Bolgatang Technical Institute. But what we know is that apart from things, nothing else was given. So things like oil and candles and milk, which will help
Albert, I'd love for you to reposition yourself so we can hear you clearly. There are intermittent breaks in the transmission. You're saying something about oil. Please repeat that.
Yes, Kojo. So I was saying that what they received were the grains, so rice, maize, and then millet. But the other items that will help them prepare the meals for the students were not given. So things like oil, canned tomatoes, and mackerels, which they normally would use to prepare rice and other meals for the students, have not yet been given. Now, according to the source I spoke with, Charles, who doesn't want to be named, obviously because there's a circular from the Ghana Education Service barring headmasters and teachers from speaking to the media. What he also said was that normally every week they give them some money which the matrons can use to go to the market and buy other items that they will need to prepare the meals. So, for instance, if they need to mill the corn to prepare something, if they need to buy other things like vegetables and all that, this money usually is given for that purpose. But that has not also been given. So, essentially, what they have been given is just the grains. So, I was asking him how they are going to manage to prepare food with just the carbohydrate, because this is not something the students will be able to eat. And what he said was that they, the heads, together with the school management, will have to find a way to manage and do it until the monies come. So this is what we know. This morning I've been checking again, and in fact, in some of the schools, a lot of the students had to leave campus and go home because of the previous situation, which, made it difficult for them to get meals. At Bolgatanga Girls Senior High School, for instance, we are told that 2 days ago, the students were given just tea without bread. And so what some of the students did was that those of them who are privileged to have things like biscuits in their chop boxes had to go with the tea from the dining hall and then use the biscuits or bread if they had it in their chop boxes. And so a lot of them started, finding it very, really difficult to stay on campus. And so they had to go home.
Now, Albert, these grains that have been supplied to the schools, based on your conversations with them, how long do they tell you they will last?
Yes, so what this Charles head told me was that what they have supplied is not for the entire semester. What they have given them essentially will last between 3 to 5 weeks. So he in his school, for instance, he said they were given just 100 bags of rice, which is not what will last them for the term. The millet and maize, he couldn't remember the figure they were given, but he essentially made it clear that what they have given them was just to temporarily feed the students. And he told me that in other schools it was the same. So the supplies were not for the rest of their stay in school for this particular semester, but just for them to feed the students for some time for other supplies to come.
So this is a stopgap supply that they've received, and it's just grains.
Yes, just grains.
Okay. So have they indicated to you what they're going to do? Are they just going to cook the rice and serve it without anything else?
Yeah, so what I asked him this several times, how, for instance, they are going to manage without the other items. And he basically laughed and said that, this is not the first time it has happened. So they have their ways of managing around situations like this. But he wouldn't tell me clearly how they are going to do it. But he said that as headmasters, this is something that happens all the time. So normally when it comes like this, they have to find a way to keep the students fed. And then when, the other supplies eventually come, or when the monies that they give for buying items for cooking is given, then they continue from there.
Any indication?
So the word he used basically was that they are going to manage. That was what he told me.
Any indication of what we've heard happening in other regions where amounts are being misreported? Have any heads in the Upper East region reported that sort of difficulty with people asking them to underreport how much they are receiving?
Well, in conversations with the headmasters and even some of the teachers in the schools, I haven't had any indication like this. What I have learned actually with a staff of one of the schools, again, who doesn't want to be named, is that sometimes because of the fact that some of the matrons have to find their own way to cook, when the supplies eventually come, sometimes the matrons also take their share. This was the word that he used. So, for instance, if the matron is finding her own way to buy mackerels and oil and other stuff, which have not been supplied to cook for the students, eventually when the supplies come, she will have to take what she used on her own. And sometimes they overdo it. They tend to take more than, they actually spent. So these are the reports that I'm getting. And just to put it flatly, it seems that in some of the schools, the workers at the pantry sometimes end up stealing some of the food that was supposed to go to students.
Albert, we're hearing a lot of that. Thank you very much for that update. And that's Albert Sorry, our correspondent in the Upper East region. Let's go to the Ashanti region next, and we have Erastus Asaridonko joining us on the phone. Reporter 1, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, bring us up to date. What's the latest?
Okay, so in the Ashanti region, the situation is not different from the reports we've been hearing. In fact, we did a whole program on it on our local SMS. That was yesterday. We had parents calling in to complain. Our production team set up a hotline. We have students from different senior high schools calling in to complain. The major complaints center around lack of food. In some areas, there was no food at all. In one particular instance, when we called the school in question, we were told that they had to close the dining hall, not because there was no food, but because of the Muslim festival. And the question was, what about the Christians who were there? And so some of the students tell you that sometimes they are served with cocoa without any sugar, and vice versa. So that has been the general complaint we have received, numbers of them from parents and students as well.
Erastus. So, I mean, at the moment, with these shortages, are the schools considering having to shut down, or are they planning any sort of measure to manage this long term?
In fact, we are not getting that indication from the headmasters. And, many of them will not want to speak with you. They tell you that they will be victimized. And so nobody is willing to speak with us publicly on that. But you don't get the indication that they want to close the school down. They are waiting for some final authority or something from either the GES or government, the ministry, to be able to do that. And so they want to manage the situation as they are doing now. Sometimes there's no food at all. Sometimes there's food. Sometimes the food is without, what goes with it. And students are advised to go into their chop box to get sugar and other things. So that is the situation on the ground.
Erastus, thank you so much for bringing us up to date. You see that recurring theme, Emmanuel and Raymond, that recurring theme of teachers and heads not wanting to speak because they will be victimized. It's almost like one of our listeners on Facebook, Kweko Parijan, is saying that the GES almost stands for Gestapo Education Service. Where everybody's afraid to speak.
It's become the case because I think right from the beginning, there were some headmasters that were transferred for other reasons, but at the core of it is what they complained about how this whole structure was going to run some years ago when we started this entire free SHS program. There were the ones that raised concerns about the kind of role that the old students and the PT had been playing, and that they've been so complementary that when you say you take over the role and you are not up to date with supply of products and all the things you have to do, we'll get into trouble. So right from the beginning, it was almost made to look like if you had complaints, the only people you could talk to were your authorities. We were told they were district officers, they were regional officers, and if you could elevate this, get it to the GES level, never let the media be your outlet. But that's never been the how we have dealt with issues in this country. We know for a fact that CHARs, teachers, headmasters have been so vociferous in times past that they have made it very clear how education plan was going. But Kojo, it is a microcosm of the bigger problem with how we have treated free SHS in general. In general, we have treated free SHS as some sacred cow. Don't touch it. Don't ever talk about it. All that's allowed is supposed to run. There isn't even possible permission for review I recall I had an interview with the Minister Substantive, and I asked, the Cali Bishops Conference in 2019 demanded a review. ISE did a study and concluded that there should be a review. When I asked the minister why this is going to, when this is going to happen, or why they've not been doing so, all that he said is that he doesn't have the mandate of the executive president to do a review of a policy he's superintending.
Only in Ghana.
Yeah,
Only
and
in
it was
Ghana.
shocking, but it's the state of the program itself. So it's not surprising that nobody can speak to it. And if you dare speak to it, they'll crack the whip on you. In any serious state, that's not how you operate. Because that feedback is required.
Yeah.
You recall the conversation we had here about free SHS. Let the people speak to the program. The executive leader of the country said we are waging a war against the program. So basically everybody that speaks in a way that's not to government complimentary or praising the program, it is seen to be you waging a war against it. How then can you identify? I've been going through the internet, check the dates. Right from May, March, there were indications from the various groups across the country. We are having difficulties with feeding. The responses of the state officers involved was that, no, this isolated. This one we will fix it because of the transportation problem. They gave reasons right from March until we have the crisis on our hands today. But it was very clear that people were sending the same signal.
Emmanuel, you've been teaching for 26 years. I'll be honest with you, after listening to our correspondence, I find it very difficult to recognize my country. That this is Ghana, the black star of Africa, where we have starving children. Starving children in schools. Not, sitting on rubbish heaps somewhere, but in our schools, we can't feed them. Do you recall a time in your career, at any point in the 26 years you've been teaching, when things have been this bad?
No, not at all, Kojo. You see, but before I say anything, let me just try and issue this disclaimer. I say these words not because I'm oblivious of whatever is happening. I chose to be a teacher. It's not as if I wanted to be a medical doctor or an engineer, and because I couldn't, I became a teacher. I chose to be a teacher. And that is why some of us feel so worried when things go this way. Indeed, the way we handle our educational system is one of the reasons why I decided I will not be in a public school again. I taught for 10 years after leaving the SGA Training College. And after 10 years, I decided, look, this system will not help me. So I moved out. Now, yesterday, as I went around speaking to my colleagues who are in the public education system, they told me, Afol, you made a better decision. And I really don't understand why we should allow this to get to this point. Maybe we should let people know, Kojo, that we are not talking about the politicization of it, but the over-politicization. Because the policy will come from the government in power anyway. But you need to leave it for people who have in-depth in these things to deal with them. We have CSOs on education in this country. We have teachers. We have parents. We have the students themselves. Why are we saying that they cannot talk about education in this country? Because you brought a program called Free SHS. Indeed. Kojo, as far back as 2016, I have been on record to have been one of those who have been very opposed to the Free SHS. Not because in principle I hated it, but we were not ready. Kojo, we spoke about the fact that, look, we had pedagogical issues, teaching methods. The training colleges were not teaching well. They were not having the resources. And so let's fix those. Let's talk about the infrastructure. Then we can train teachers and deal with it. We are called naysayers in this country. Unfortunately, the larger majority of Ghanaians who didn't understand the issues then thought that, well, because it was free, let's go with it. Here we are today. Kojo, I spoke to over 23 colleagues of mine who are in different schools, public institutions. And I even wanted them to speak to these issues. They're like, Afol, I'm afraid. And my point is, so why then and how do we...
They're afraid of what?
They are afraid of being victimized. And you know this. Let's not pretend. We know this.
Let's paint the picture. In what ways are teachers victimized when they speak up about problems that require solutions that we need to be aware of? After all, those are our children.
So, you know, in Ghana, it's either NDC or MPP or CPP or whatever. And so if there's something you see wrongly as a professional, and you talk about it, because you are critiquing, you are not even criticizing, Kojo. Those are two different words. You are critiquing the issues to make sure the best results are achieved. Because it doesn't go with what the policy holder or policy formulator has suggested, they tag you. And so once you stand out and speak, the next thing is that you are transferred. And so, Kojo, all the points I'm going to say today are based on issues I received from my friends who are in the system because they cannot remove the veil. And Kojo, it's sad because what we have actually heard from your reporters is even a milder part of the situation. It is just bad. You spoke about reporting. They call it conditional supplies. So this is it.
There's a term for it.
Oh yes, there's a term for it. Kojo, there's a term for it, and this is it. So you are supplied 100 bags of maize, and you are made to sign for 150. And the reason is that the state, and I'm using this word carefully, I'm not saying government for someone to come and tell me this and that. The state, the collective Ghanaian society, will not pay the suppliers on time. And so the 50 bags that are not paid for are meant to cushion them for inflationary issues.
Oh my God.
That's what is happening, Kojo. Apart from the fact that students are now breaking into other people's chalk boxes, look at what is happening now. Kojo, let's not pretend we don't know that issue. I don't understand why we still have a Director General of Ghana Educational Service. What has he said? We have a Minister of Education who is supposed to be the darling boy of the media. What has he said? Sometimes it pays to just say, you know what, guys, we thought this was going to happen. We were wrong. Let's come together and find a solution. Because I never anticipated a situation where a child of 13, 14, 15, 16 cannot eat because he decided to go to school. And it doesn't even make sense to me, Kojo, that you tell me that as a parent, I am not important in the education of my child. You have problems. We have economic problems. Call us. Allow us to help fix the problem. Why are we not allowing parents? There are PTAs, there are school management committees who are ready to help in this regard. I think that we should bow our heads in shame.
Do you know, this show is supposed to be about solutions, so that's what we'll do next. But I've got to say, I'm a bit heartbroken. I don't know about you. I don't want to get overly emotional about this, but the truth is that my heart is a bit broken because we fail at so many things in this country, but when our failure affects our children, somebody with a conscience somewhere has to say something. And you see, this system is run by adults, educated adults. How could you have let it get this bad? And when we were telling you what people are saying, what people are experiencing, you told us that we are waging a war, waging a campaign against your free SHS. You went to stand at a university, a place of higher learning, academic thinking, wore a robe and a mortarboard, and stood there to say that the people who are giving you feedback are waging a campaign against you. And now here we are. You are starving our children. Is there anything, any aspect of your politics that you think is more important to us than our children? We'll solve the problem. If you can't, we'll solve it ourselves when we come back. It's the Super Morning Show.
Good morning. Wake up to the original magazine show. The Super Morning Show.
It seems Royal Foam did not get the memo. Times are tough. Prices are going up. They're giving 10% discount, free pillows with every purchase. Hey, Royal Foam. Just when you thought all they manufacture are quality but affordable mattresses and pillows, they take it up a notch by being thoughtful in these hard times. Royal Foam has reduced their prices drastically. Buy a mattress, get a free pillow. Enjoy 10% discount instantly, nationwide. Take advantage. Enjoy Royal Foam. Enjoy the best. Call 020-227-1000 for other hot deals happening at Royal Foam. Royal Foam. Rest assured.
Have you heard the saying that quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten? Seeing is believing. That is why every year is Samsung for me. From this July, enjoy great discounts as you purchase high quality Samsung mid-year promotion. Yes, with 1,399 Ghana cedis, you will be going home with a Samsung 32-inch satellite TV. With 3,299, you get yourself a Samsung split AC. With 1,499, a twin-top washing machine is yours. With 3,199, a Samsung refrigerator Duracool top-mounted freezer will be standing strong in your kitchen like forever. For more info, call 0242 439 437. And what a smart TV. Then get them 4K. Then get them 8K. Then get them projector. Then get all. Wow! Samsung mid-year promotion.
The ninth Wonder Tours with Adansi Travel is here. It's a Nairobi, Dubai, Kigali, Dubai, and exclusive Dubai Adansi Papibi unforgettable mega tour. Come along on the ninth Wonder Tour as we explore Nairobi, Dubai on Kenya Airways, Dubai on Emirates, and Kigali, Dubai on Rwand Air. Each of these goes for 12,990 Ghana cedis per person and starts on 9th August with over 15 different dates to choose during August and September. This package covers flights, visas, hotels, transfers, and 9th Wonder Tours prepared specially for you. Pay for the value of 6 days and enjoy a 9-day tour. There shall be a special all-white yacht cruise on Dubai Marina, guided discounted shopping in Dubai, and a great experience at the Desert Safari. Register from now till 10 July and enjoy a discount of 1,000 Ghana cedis per person. Book your seats now on www.adansitravels.com or call 05955 00817 0552 648 267. You can visit our head office in Accra, East Legon, close to American House. Adansi Travels, feel life's beauty.
Wow, I just paid my taxes right now. Since they started this pay from anywhere, it has become easier, cra.
Easy, cra. Now nobody has an excuse. So long journey, no ye jai. Tax, why? Effie, don't tell me you have not been paying taxes, oh.
No, I'm tired of paying. Don't be. It's the taxes we pay that government will use to improve the market and to build the nation, oh.
I don't know. It just takes your whole day. Hey, you mean you have been going to the GRA office?
Effie, unye current, cra. Come and join us. So I'm not paying taxes, no.
Pay your taxes online, at the bank, or from your phone. Together, we can build a great nation. GRA.
Hey, customer, to you are welcome.
Davy. Today I want beans with 30 cedis worth of fried plantain and just add little gario.
Hey, Kweku, now you are doing well, pal.
Oh, Davy, it's because of star 500 hash. Use your ATM money more, talk more, and browse more to win in the Airtel to go Tukumisu Reloaded promo.
Hey, so me also, I can win the Sika Bebre to upgrade this my go bed business.
Yes, Tukumisu promo is now reloaded and is bigger and better. Simply dial star 500 hash and meet your weekly AT money, calls, and data targets to win your share of the over 1 million Ghana cedis cash prizes up for grabs. Dial star 500 hash now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
He's up bright and early, serving your premium morning radio show. The Morning Man. It's the Morning Man. Go your Jackson.
Me, I won't go central. I won't go leg. I won't go method. I won't go tag. Me, I want the house. But my puppy say
this thing is not funny. You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy99.7 FM. And children are starving across Ghana. In secondary schools, those who are supposed to be benefiting from the free SHS system, they are not getting food to eat. Some schools have even asked some of the children to go home. Others have waited for weeks and months to get supplies, and in the end, all that turns up is rice. Nothing else, not even oil, rice. Already it's starting a crime wave. Children are breaking into each other's chop boxes. Headmasters are being forced to sign fraudulent receipts for supplies that don't arrive, never arrive. They say they call it conditional supplies. Ghana. And then, of course, in the pantries and the kitchens, we're seeing theft of the stuff that finally arrives by the staff. Charlie, this is Ghana. All right, we will find solutions. That's what we will do. It's our problem. They are our children. We'll find solutions together right here on the Super Morning Show. First, did you know that if you send money to your own bank account, you will not be charged e-levy? Provided your bank account or mobile money account is linked to your Ghana card. Contact GRA on the toll-free number 0800 900 110 or just go to gra.gov.gh for more information.
South Africa invites you to Zwakala. That's come over this holiday. Come explore our explosive and vibrant cities, beautiful beaches and top-tier restaurants this summer. And we promise you a holiday worth talking about when you're back home. We've got everything you need for a fun and relaxing holiday, from delicious cultural foods like banichos, kotas, kopo, and aleke. Okay, I'd love to have that. To those looking for some shopping, we recommend getting your hands on the best in local and international fashion at Sandton City's Diamond Walk or Hyde Park Square in Johannesburg. Those visiting Durban can visit the Gateway Mall, and the Cape Town travelers are guaranteed a once-in-a-lifetime shopping experience at the V&A waterfront. Your holiday is worth talking about. Come journey with us. Find the travel package that works best for you on southafrica.net.
You want to shoot like a hunter.
All right, now there are 100 more reasons to buy your airtime with MTN Momo. Momo is giving you back 100% bonus whenever you buy airtime from your wallet. That's 2 times the airtime you need. You can schedule your airtime purchase at any amount, daily, weekly, or monthly by dialing *170#. Option 3, or following the process to dial *170*311# for a superb airtime purchase experience. So whether you're scheduling tomorrow's airtime today or buying airtime when you need it on *170# or *170*311#, you get 100% bonus airtime so you can make twice as many calls and catch up with the gist only on MTN Momo.
Well, if you own a Peugeot or Citroën vehicle, this is the news you've been waiting for, because beginning 4th July, all Peugeot and Citroën owners can visit any Silver Star Auto Workshop in Accra, Tema, or Kumasi and enjoy free diagnosis of their vehicles and a 15% discount on spare parts and any service delivery. Promo ends on the 29th of July 2022. Visit our Facebook and Instagram pages to book your slot. Terms and conditions apply. Silver Star Auto, your trusted partner.
All right, okay. It's 9:20. Let's start solving this problem. Clearly, it's up to us now. So look, what's the way forward? I mean, there are several things that are being suggested. In some cases, people are saying, look, the Parents Association needs to step back up and, deal with these problems. Others are saying the school needs to seize control of its own destiny. And, some are suggesting, school farms and all kinds of ideas, right? So let's figure it out together. Emmanuel, I'm glad you're here with us. Emmanuel Affle, of course, is a teacher with about 26 years experience. 10 years of that was spent in the public primary and JHS here in Ghana. Emmanuel, I'm glad you're here. From where you sit, after all the conversations you've had with colleagues, what are some of the ideas that are coming up as ways forward, ways to ensure our children don't starve?
Okay. Thank you, Kojo. Kojo, I think that over the years we have underestimated the potential of the Ghanaian teacher, and the teacher for that matter. And it's basically because of politics. That once you become a teacher, or you decide to become a teacher, you must be controlled. But a teacher is supposed to be the one who is teaching all other professionals. Kojo, speaking to them yesterday, they have solutions, but they will not be allowed. Because the policy holder and the formulator thinks it's something that is going to speak against a policy. One, let's understand that we cannot over-politicize education. That's one. There was a certain man called Dr. Kwame Nkrumah who put something together called the 7-year accelerated education plan. It's somewhere in the shelves, in the ministries. Let's look at it. And the man sought to depoliticize education. Now, how does that work? We have a blueprint. Any government that comes into power, NDC, MPP, CPP, ABC, you cannot touch that policy unless you are actually influencing its betterness or betterment, if there's any word like that. 2, let us get the PTAs involved in this. And this, I say it in a very gingerly way because, Kojo, it doesn't make sense for you to tell me that if I have a 14-year-old in SHS, I cannot be part of the decision making of the child's life. It doesn't make sense. Just because you think you have a spurious educational policy called free SHS. So let's involve them. There are CSOs on education in this country. We can talk about Africa Education Watch. They are doing excellent, and they have copious documents to help better the system. Next, we also hear that funds released for perishables very, very inadequate. So the meals are not balanced. Anyway, why do you even talk about balanced meals when the meals are not there in the first place? You know. Then I probably want to say we must get to the point where we centralize this procurement system. Kojo, there are different schools spread all throughout the country. Every school, as far as I'm concerned, has what you call
school management
committees, and that committee is made up of the headmaster, the assistant headmaster, teachers, parents, in fact, community leaders. And some of the students are also representatives on that platform. They can deal with their own procurement issues.
So you're calling for a decentralization?
That's what I'm calling. No, actually, centralization. Okay. Centralize it in the various schools. When you decentralize it, you are looking at a situation where it is only coming from one source. Now, so what I mean is centralizing it means that if it is PRESEC, let the management of PRESEC deal with that issue.
That's decentralizing.
That's decentralizing.
Removing the centralization.
Because what we have currently is the buffer stock.
Okay.
And we have suppliers. So these suppliers would go and provide. I mean, the only thing that is decentralized is the perishables, which my information indicates that it's sometimes in arrears for 10 weeks. And every week you're supposed to be giving 3,500 for some schools. And so they keep borrowing, procuring these perishables, on credit until it's 10 weeks. Then some monies are released to them. They go and settle, and then they continue the cycle of, borrowing until they get the next release. So what they're calling for is a decentralization. So you have the schools then beginning to deal with their suppliers. And there we go.
Oh, that's good education for me. But I believe that it makes sense to let them take care of the situation.
Sure.
Because we, as a state, we have too many problems to add feeding of students too. This should have been the last thing we talk about. And I dare say that our educational policy as we run now has serious pedagogical issues. Teaching methods are very poor, and that is why even average income earners in Ghana are running to Cambridge schools. The fees are extraordinarily high, but they are paying through their noses because they know that the outcome is comparatively better. And then maybe we should also try to stagger, I don't know what I should call it, bursary. So for example, after BEC, students who get aggregate 6 to 12 are probably given full scholarship. Maybe 13 to 25, maybe half. In that order, we'll be able to save some money. Again, let's get to the point where we'll allow parents to pay for feeding fee. There's nothing wrong with that. Indeed, we heard our finance minister say that we cannot let everybody enjoy. It doesn't make sense. There are people who earn salaries between 4,000 and 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, whose children enjoy free education. It doesn't make sense at all. And so some of us honestly should not be worried about this situation because after all, I'm not in the system. Okay. But the point is that I am not in a position to put my child in a Cambridge school. And so we need to talk about it. What's it? Okay, you are not working.
If it touches the eye, it touches the nose.
Exactly. And so we cannot pretend it doesn't affect us, even though we teach in a different program.
Okay.
No. So let's actually, I expect the education minister to concede that there's a problem. And that just as we did for the Senchi conference on economic policy, let's bring people together. Look, there are headmasters who had great ideas. The only problem they have is that they didn't get an opportunity to be the minister of the education directors.
Okay, you've made a very important point, but one simple thing. First of all, free SHS is discriminatory as it is currently, because
private schools are exempted.
Yes, I mean, some people have a chance to go to boarding school,
and others are day students.
Others are day students, and so you would want a system where everybody has the same amount of money paid for. in a lot of the other developed jurisdictions, if you want to go to a boarding school, it's a luxury. You pay for it.
Yeah.
You pay for it. And so I agree with those who made the point earlier that how about a chit system for free SHS? So if we decide that every child secondary school going in is going to be giving 700 Ghana cedis, it is made available to everybody who's qualified to go to the secondary school. In that case, we made it non-discriminatory. Or if you choose to go to public schools, we can also say that. Public schools, we will pay for your day student fees. If you want to be a boarder, you pay your boarding fees. Because one of the things, the idea behind the boarding system was to integrate the society. Today we've had that sort of integration in Ghana. And so today, if you want to go to a boarding school, it's a luxury. We should understand that. 2, yesterday somebody called, Karim. He made a point I 100% agree with. And I've said this before. There is nothing government wants to do that it cannot do. If government sees it as a priority.
Priorities, yeah.
If government sees education as a priority, government would look for the money and invest in that particular sector. So it is not okay to say that free SHS is a priority and not allocate funds and disperse those funds to free SHS. It just does not make sense. And so, yes, we may be going through challenges, but there's one thing we can do. We can definitely invest if we want to. And finally, I said this thing yesterday, and Professor Diamondson repeated saying, and you've talked about it, what is the business of centralizing procurement for food in this modern Ghana? When we have a minister of local government decentralization and rural development. Now, the mere fact that we have a minister in charge of decentralization, it's an indication of a country prepared to move to the next step of what? Development. In fact, we give our assemblies the chance to have bylaws. We've talked about the need to even go full devolution, where the assemblies have control over their finances and their laws and everything. What is preventing us from allowing the schools to procure their own food and supervising them to ensure that they actually procure the foods they say they have procured?
I get your point 100%. The only problem is that somebody ought to control the money from the top. And that's how we have actually failed in our decentralization quest. It's not letting the power go. But more importantly, I also get the point you raise about how can we consistently call this a priority? Perhaps the most important flagship program, and yet sometimes it is dogged with financial challenges. What then do we put our monies into? Which other flagships, which other very priorities do we put our money into? I mean, what do we do with all the monies?
Cathedrals.
I mean, it's just surprising. We can't touch the policy, obviously, because whenever we suggest things, it's seen in a very negative light. We can also not fix the problems in the system. So exactly what we hope to achieve. It's when we look at it all from the perspective of, at the end of the day, the people who attend the schools, they will suffer. They will suffer for a period of time. People will lose faith in the public secondary education system, as we are seeing happening. People are withdrawing their kids when they can pay for it into other systems. But there are some people who can never withdraw their kids from the system because they can't pay for it.
Yeah.
Those are the people that end up suffering. Their kids end up having the kind of education that this system avails to them, and they don't end up advancing in life the way they ought to do so. If this country gives equal opportunity to all, we should look at some of these structures and make sure we fix it properly. But deep within our hearts, it's time we put aside the ego around free SHS and come to the table and agree that going forward, I've heard people say right from the beginning, it's not sustainable. It's not something you can keep for a long time. When you have challenges, when you have fiscal issues, it will compound your problems. You sure need to scale down. That conversation has been happening for God knows how long. It is not the private money of state officials that are being used to run free SHS. It's our collective resource. So it should be our collective decision how we fund it and what we fund in this case. We should get back to that conversation of who should be enjoying free education at that level and what subsidies should be available to the other set of people in the country. It doesn't continually make sense for a country that's struggling to get balance of payment support to be pumping money into things that you know you could have properly targeted. We are able to target LEAP. we are able to do NHS indigent selection properly. But when it comes to making sure that we select the people who are poor enough to be supported fully and giving more than just what we are giving, we cannot do that.
Perhaps, Raymond and everybody, I think that you get to a position where every minister or every MP, anybody who takes a salary from the consolidated fund is forced to send their children through a public school system. We'll fix it. If you are a minister,
I agree with you perfectly.
If you are a minister in a particular government, you cannot do any kind of education but our public school, and you fix it. It has happened before.
I actually think it's an insult to the people of Ghana if we ask you to manage our nation and you are you don't
exempt
trust
from all the problems.
You don't trust the system you are managing well enough to put yourself and your family through it.
In the future, we'll do the roll call. We'll tell you which
that's an insult.
Which government officials are actually having their kids not in the school.
All right.
Then it tells you the indication whether they are really committed to fixing the problems anyway.
Listen, Kwame Sowu, one of our listeners, sent in a suggestion. We're talking solutions, right? So maybe this will work. It takes about 120,000 Ghana cedis per month to feed children in one school in Ghana, typical school. So the suggestion is that, okay, maybe the old students should just come together. If 500 old students are paying 240 Ghana cedis every month, that will feed the children. Okay, maybe it's time that we just put aside this arrogant government position and do the thing ourselves. Feed our own children. Because honestly, I'm not going to leave the hunger of my child to the whims of some politicians too known. And that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's too known.
Yeah.
You say you want to educate children for free. Very good. Well done. It's needed. But before this, you say children couldn't access schools. So you are now giving them access to schools. Good. But before you did that, the children at home who couldn't go to school, their parents were feeding them. Their parents were feeding them. So why are you bringing them into your free education system to starve them? And you won't even allow me to feed my child. You won't allow me to feed. So you think that I will allow my child to starve so that you look good? You must be sick. Anyway, it's the Super Morning Show. When we come back, we would like to hear from you. So please, call us after these.
GSE, the Ghana Stock Exchange, energized for growth. Join Ghana's preferred investment platform. Experience our 3 exciting markets customized to meet the scale of your idea or business. GSE Main Market, Ghana Alternative Market GAX, Ghana Fixed Income Market GIFM. The GSE provides a platform that helps you mobilize capital for your business to be in the right place. Speak to us or our licensed brokers and we will tell you how. GSE, the preferred platform for investment and raising long-term capital.
Charlie, so it's actually raining and we can't hear any sound. As for this your house, when it's raining, no sound. When the sun is up, the interior is cool. What roof are you using?
They use Ico roofing shingles from Interface Limited. Long lasting and beautiful.
Ico roofing shingles. We all for move to Interface and get this Ico roofing shingles.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram interface.limited.
Having your baby try out different tastes and flavors isn't just about giving them a change of taste. This helps to develop their palate and prepares them better for accepting varieties of adult food as they grow. So go ahead and try any of our 6 Cerelac variants, that is wheat, maize, rice, biscuity, fruit pieces, and millet. Remember, each bowl of Cerelac contains goodness that helps your child's normal growth and development. Cerelac, it's all good, Mum. This advert is FDA approved.
Up Santa Clausians, the National Executive Committee of AOBA invites all Santa Clausians and friends to the relaunch of the Additional College Trust Fund at the Labadi Beach Hotel on Friday, 15th of July, 2022. Indeed, others have labored and we share their glory. Ours to do exploits and add to the game. It's time to celebrate our successes and build on what others have done. The college needs us now. So follow Santa Clausians and let's support the college. Join us at 5 p.m. and together, let's build the only college built by its students. Up Santa Clausians. Followed.
Have you heard the saying that quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten? Seeing is believing. That is why every year is Samsung for me. From this July, enjoy great discounts as you purchase high quality Samsung mid-year promotion. Yes, with 1,399 Ghana cedis, you will be going home with a Samsung 32-inch satellite TV. With 3,299, you get yourself a Samsung split AC. With 1,499, a twin-top washing machine is yours. With 3,199, Samsung refrigerator Duracool top-mounted freezer will be standing strong in your kitchen like forever. For more info, call 0242 439 437. And what a smart TV? Then get them 4K. Then get them 8K. Then get them projector. Then get all. Wow! Samsung mid-year promotion.
The MPP is poised to break the 8.
The party elects new national executives to lead the charge.
Your election headquarters has assembled the best political team
on radio, television, and online to bring you the most comprehensive coverage.
The Joy News Special Build-Up Series will focus on the key candidates and positions.
Friday, July 15, will bring you the Election Eve Special from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
with Winston Amwa and myself live on Joy News.
We'll bring you unmatched coverage of the National Delegates Conference at the Accra Sports Stadium
from 9 a.m. till the final results are declared. Only on Joy News, your election headquarters.
Your morning radio.
It's 20 to 10. You're welcome back. We're going to hear from you in just a moment when we open the phone lines. We're talking about food shortages in our SHSs. And thanks for all of your tweets and text messages. We're going to read a few of those as well. Text messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by the Glycocritical Illness Plan. GSIP, it's in your best interest to survive.
Now, Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one supplier of quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture at affordable prices, introduce an online store for your shopping convenience. So this means you can now shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com without physically coming to any of our branches. It's hassle-free and will arrange delivery to your homes and offices within a reasonable time. And we offer free delivery within Accra and Tema and accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
All right, now as a business owner, you know how important it is to safeguard your business against all forms of cyber attack. Surfline knows this too, and that's why they're offering you a business bodyguard called Surfline Internet and Business Solutions, SIBS. With SIBS or SIBS, you can rest assured that hackers and scammers cannot come near your business. SIBS is designed to safeguard your production lines, online transactions, social media pages, personal data, and digital assets against online hacks and attacks 24/7. You can choose digital protection, which prevents your social media accounts from impersonation, attacks, disaster recovery, which brings back your systems minutes after disaster, cyber protection for online activities, and secure SAP B1 software that prevents attackers from gaining access to your entire network. Getting SIBS just might be the best investment you will ever make for your business. Call 0302 745 766 to book a demo and see how Surfline can help. Surfline, better together.
And we have good news for all SMEs in Ghana. The Allianz SME Assured by Allianz Life is here to secure the future of business owners, the employees, apprentices, and company assets. Allianz SME Assured is a comprehensive yet affordable and highly customized insurance package designed for small and medium-sized enterprises, including cover options for life, critical illness, telemedicine, fire protection, and many more. To get insured and covered, dial our short code *1890# and select option 9 or call Allianz Life Insurance on 0308 249 090. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
All right, it's time to feel the beauty of the African continent and enjoy the colorful Look, enjoy the color on Adansi Travel's 9th Wonder African Tours. Join Churchill, Winston Amwa, the co-host of Super Morning Show on Joy FM, as he explores two amazing cities in Africa, Addis Ababa and Cape Town, on the 11th till the 19th of August for only 15,990 Ghana cedis per person. And already people are buying in their numbers. Everybody wants to have a piece of Churchill on this trip.
Very important.
Absolutely. The trip offers you the opportunity to see the famous Entoto Park in Addis Ababa and taste the finest Ethiopian coffee in Cape Town. You also get to visit the V&A waterfront, the Table Mountain, and so much more. Book now at adansitravels.com or call them on 059 5500817, or you can try 055-6310-404. You deserve this vacation, so don't miss out. Adansi Travels, feel life's beauty. Okay, let's open the lines. We'd love to hear from you. The numbers are 0302-216-541 and 055-1111-997. So you know what to do. Please, we would love to hear from some first timers as well. So dial those numbers: 0302-216-541, 055-1111-997. We're interested in solutions. How do we get our children fed since the system is failing them? Ajiman Joseph is on the line. Ajiman, good morning.
Good morning, Kofi. I hope you're doing well.
Not bad at all. Where are you calling us from today?
I'm calling from Community.
That's right. All right, talk to us.
Yeah, I understand your passion, but the issue is we are having challenges, economical challenges globally. So we have to understand it and feed our children for now. But my little problem also with the government and the authority, the GES, trying to let the authorities keep quiet because there's a problem. And the government should tell us that this is the problem, so this is the way out. But if we look as if there's nothing happening and we look things just like that, that's the issue. So we should feed our children for now because the free SHS entails a lot. Only the feeding is the problem now. So let's understand and feed our children, but the government should come out to tell us that because of the challenges, feed your children for now. That's my problem.
Thank you, Ajiman Joseph. Claude is also in Tema. Hi, Claude. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo. Kojo, those who invented the plane, when they started, the plane did not fly. Second time it crashed, but it kept on and it flew, and we sit in plane.
Hello. Oh, Claude, I think we've lost you there. Please call us back if you can. We're very interested in what you have to say there. There was an aeroplane analogy that you started. Please call us back if you can. Salifu is in Cove Town. Salifu, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Kojo. Yeah, I want to know whether government has cost the free education for the students every year. And if they have made their cost, was feeding not amount? No wonder my village children call it free wahala. Instead of free education, it's free wahala. Look, the children went in April and they're at home in June. And they will stay at home for 4 months. Whether they will even go back in September or not, we don't know. There's no free wahala. If they have done their course, they should know that this number of children are going to school, and therefore feeding should not be a problem. Books up to now, since they went, they haven't gotten any textbooks to read. So how did you just say that children should go? They are always bluffing that, we have given about 10,000, 20,000 students free education. But how is it? What is the quality? They should tell us the cost. And if they cannot, look, people are paying extra classes that they've just come home. They are paying. So why should they be fooling us? It's free wahala, not free education. Thank you.
Thank you, Salifu. You can call us to 0302-216-541 or 055-1111-997. Ayiram is in the voter region. Ayiram, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Youngson.
Yes, sir.
Okay, regards to the team, the Winston, Raymond, and Mr. Alfo that you've just invited to the studio. Kojo?
Yes, sir.
In fact, we are on the front line of this educational system brought about by this government. And precisely, I would like to touch down on the issue of the food. you made mention of suppliers bringing under quantity.
Yeah.
And asking those at the forefront to fix the numbers there. Look, this is a reality. There's something that the team couldn't touch on earlier when I was doing the listening. This is it. When you look at the issue from two angles, you realize that the suppliers who are providing the food items to the schools also have a legitimate concern. Kojo, if one bag of soya goes for 800 cedis on the market, and the government is willing to pay 250 cedis for a bag of soya, if you supply to a school, imagine the loss you incur at the end of the day. So the suppliers are also legitimately concerned and compelled to make sure they also shoot the numbers up. What worsens the issue is that the last straw to break the camel's back, that's why suppliers are not supplying food items to the school, is that government, some of the suppliers since last year, Kojo, government has not paid them as we speak. And a very close source, when meeting with the education minister, even gave them a threat that they could go to hell. Even CNN, cable news networks in America to discuss it. When they had the money, that's when they will pay the suppliers. So imagine Fifi runs a business and supplies to school, and his money is stopped up somewhere. Look at this scenario that we are talking about.
Well, that is a shocking thing to imagine, Aram. But thanks for that perspective. We appreciate your call. We are unable to independently verify the details of what happened at this meeting that Aram describes. But wow. Anyway, Claude is back on the line from Tema. Claude, thanks very much for reconnecting. Yes. So you were saying?
Yes, I was saying that those who invented the plane, when they started, it didn't fly, it crashed, but they kept on improved, and now we fly in planes. So through SHS, we look at the challenges and try and improve upon it and solve. But concerning the food, I think those that they import, maybe CHAS or Ghana Education Service should be made to import their canned food directly, maybe even maize and rice, so that they don't go through middlemen who are selling at retail price where the price is high. So maybe they set up a unit just to import the things that are needed to be imported for the schools directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claude. Ni is in Achimota. Hi, Ni. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo. Kojo, a very good morning to you and your listeners. In fact, I think we should take emotions out of this discussion and then hit the nail right on the head. I'm very disappointed in your guest in the studio, Emmanuel Afro. Look, I've also been teaching for 25 good years. And I think if Emmanuel should hit the nail right on the head, you would have seen the difference between decentralization and centralization. But just by the by, look, the free SHS policy is one of the best policies we ever had in Ghana. Take it or leave it. You can talk about review, you can talk about everything. You know, I was against the president saying that a radio station is fighting against the free SHS. But I'm now beginning to understand him better. Look, this food issue, the supply chain, take your investigative journalists. Let them go into schools and check how people are depleting the matrons, the storekeepers, you name it. Even when there is food, go and check the food they give to the children. You can't just take a bit of a current happening and then blow it out of proportion. Look, it's a serious issue that needs to be addressed holistically. And I think that, let's talk solutions. You asked him to talk about solutions. You heard what he's saying. So, if I could, let's go down and then take the whole thing holistically and then go and investigate and then we can take it from there. But I think that it behooves on the Ghana Education Service to solve this problem once and for all. After that, we know what we can take it from. Go into the schools and check how people are stealing food, even from kitchens and from, you get there, you will know it. I think, Charlie, let's go down and then deal with the issues the way it should be dealt with.
Thank you, Ni, for calling. Kofi is in Kumasi. Hi, Kofi. Good morning.
Hi, handsome Kojos.
Handsome Kofi. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. You see, Kojo, my firstborn attended progressively free education in 2018. He was a day student. I used to pay 25 cedis as school fees. 25 cedis. Now my second-born is in free education. She is in boarding house. I have to send her money every week because she's not able to eat from the dining. Anytime she eats from the dining hall, she falls sick. And so I've asked her to stop eating from the dining hall. So every week I have to send her money. And I am free to do that. So my suggestion is that let's resort to back to the progressively free education, where parents will be able to contribute something little to help the government. We all want the best for our children, but if the state cannot, bear the cost, why shouldn't us, the parents, contribute something? And we can do so if the government will stop the arrogance and allow parents to pay something. Thank you, Kojo.
Thank you, Handsome Kofi. Thanks for calling us. Now we have Kwesi on the line from, I don't know whether he's from Kaswa or from Tuba. This is confusing. Kwesi, where are you calling us from?
Yeah, from Tuba Kaswa.
Tuba Kaswa. All right. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, the disappointment is all over. But I want you to check something for me. It seems like somebody makes a mistake and we are all following. Your reporter said there's no PTA anymore and that there is PA. I want us to go into that matter well. Because you see, the Act 778, we seek to strengthen and to establish the SMCs and these parent bodies. What we know is PTA and not PA. And the minister who said that when this free SHS started, at a point in time, if you remember, close to the elections, when after Charles' meeting, when they submitted the communique to him, he sat on every radio station and said, somebody should show him a letter he wrote that there are no PTAs and that there is a PA. And so please, I would like us to delve into this matter more because it is part of the educational decentralization process.
Right.
And I can also refer you to what they have brought calling Gallup. You will realize that the Gallup document reinforces what PTAs and what SMCs are supposed to do. We seem to be confused about what we have to do. Why are we doing ourselves this? It's a pity. I would like to talk to you later, okay?
Certainly, Kwesi. Please call us back at your earliest convenience and we'd love to speak to you. Or actually, if you stay on the line, you can give your number to our producers. Sly is at West Hills Mall. He will be our last caller for now. Sly, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling.
With this free education issue, my issue is this. If the government wants to have a free education, let it be on the tuition only. You see, some will be in the boarding house. You are going to see them 3 times a day. Some will be at home as day students. They are not benefiting from that facility. So if the government is going to make it free, let the tuition be free and say we are going to give only lunch so that the day students will benefit from it. Those in the boarding house will also benefit from it. But with the day students, when they go home, it is their parents who are going to feed them. So if you have brought your child to school to stay there, then be ready to feed the child. So it should be half and half. Let the day students benefit for lunch. Those in boarding house benefit from lunch. And then their breakfast and their dinner, let the parents pay. That will solve it because the money that the government has to use is too much. Let the government take the tuition and then bear the tuition, and then the parents pay for the food.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that suggestion. That's Sly from West Hills Mall. I want to say a big thank you to all of you who called us this morning. We appreciate it very much. Emmanuel, final thoughts in 30 seconds before we go.
I don't think that there's any government which will come in power and have the temerity to cancel the free SHS policy and therefore the free feeding. All we are saying is that let's engage more. Let's accept that there's a problem and let's all come together, put our shoulders to the wheel and then solve the problem. Our children cannot starve while they're in school.
The things we don't care about, we don't talk about. If we are talking about free SHS, because we care about it, we want it to work. All right. Thanks to all of you who also cared about it enough to call us and text us and tweet us. We appreciate you very much. Thanks for listening to the Super Morning Show. Coming up next is the 10 o'clock bulletin, after which, of course, Cosmopolitan Mix continues. But until tomorrow, keep safe, take care of yourself. My name is Kojo Youngson. I'm the morning man.
My name is Winston Amor.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best ever. On Joy 99.7 FM.
Ghana for there are some to ask them. I say Winty will be ready my tem, but some things need to be said and tem. Kaniwu, let it out of the basket. Contain. Let's start with religion and these big ass churches. Pastors more pay than teachers and nurses. How the preachers they afford these big benches, and nobody questions it from the pews and the benches. Hey, education getting poorer at a higher price. Less quality teachers and more strikes. Students know the land, triple all night. These views might be leftist, but it's alright. Election time, politics by these novices. They empty their wallets and give us empty promises.